What is up, heroes? This is Midnight Zero, and welcome to Let's Play My Hero 1's Justice. This is a patron pick video, so thank you to the patrons who decided that this was a game they wanted to see. This is My Hero 1's Justice, a game for the Switch based on the My Hero Academia anime, and it's actually a really fun fighting game in my opinion. It does have a couple fatal flaws, but hopefully I can give you guys a good a show of what the game is about. The first thing you're going to see, and one of my least favorite aspects, is there's a lot of waiting before you can actually even play the game. It may look like the game is frozen now. It's trying to connect to the internet, and it's unable to. And if it's unable to, it will immediately search for networks. And then after doing that, it'll freeze like this. And then it'll try to tell you how it autosaves. And then after doing so and autosaving, you'll finally get to the menu. So this is my first complaint. And another loading screen, official one though. It's adorable. Of course, gotta love Uraraka. I'm a huge My Hero Academia fan. And now we are at the main menu. So one of the coolest things about this is the voice acting is excellent, and a lot of the visuals are really cool too. There are a bunch of different modes. I'll go through quite a few of them, and I'll show you some of my favorite aspects. Oh man, I'm trying to talk here. If you have not seen the anime for this show, I highly recommend it. It's an incredible anime. It's great shonen, it's great action, lovable characters, really hype. I don't know what to say. It's really creative. It's easily one of my favorites of all time. However, something worth noting is this game takes place at the start of and throughout the second season of the anime. If you haven't seen the first, and if you haven't seen the second or third for that matter, you know, this may spoil some things. So do go into that, or come into this video knowing that that may be the case. So let's go briefly through the different modes. There's story mode, where basically you start off from the second season and you play through mini sort of episodes like those that occur in the actual anime. They're missions where they basically come up with different things you have to do, missions, and you try to get through them as effectively as possible. There are usually a lot of little like stipulations. I actually haven't dug into this mode that much. As far as local match goes, this is where you battle with other people. Training is for training, online is for online battles, customized profile is for how you'll appear online, customized characters where you can make different costumes, accessories, etc. for the different characters you use, the galleries where you can look through action poses, voice lines, movies, art, etc. Settings are, well, that. And arcade is like a typical fighting game arcade mode, where you basically go through a series of computers to get to the end. I have spent 90% of my time in training mode, and then the rest of it in local match mode, with some in story mode. So I've played a lot of this game, but I haven't done a lot of the single player stuff, so forgive me if I'm not, you know, the most comprehensive when it comes to those things. Again, something really cool is the visuals and the voice acting, so I'll go through really quickly. Oh, Uraraka, my heart. So we got Hatsume. More Hatsume. More Hatsume. More Deku. Alright, so the first thing I want to do is head to training mode. Easily my favorite. On the way there, we're going to have another loading screen. This is the bane of this game's existence. Loading screens and forcing the player to wait from transition from one menu to the next, and from gameplay to some menu, or from gameplay to more gameplay. Obviously, it's cute because Uraraka's there, but if you don't have flashcards to do or Reddit to look at while you're waiting, it can get pretty boring. The first thing I want to bring up is there are two different modes to play. You can play as normal, or you can play as manual. Normal is kind of like an auto combo, where you don't really have to press buttons in a very meaningful way, and the game will just kind of auto combo for you. Manual is where you have to be very intentional about which moves you're using and what the timing is of those moves. However, you're able to go a little bit beyond what the auto combos do. So I highly recommend getting used to manual mode. But if you're not looking to get that into the game, know that a pretty easy way to pick up the game, not be bad at it, and to look cool while not being bad at it is to play on normal mode. what else is there to say? So here are all the characters. You'll notice there's some lag as the characters load. We've got Jiro, we've got Deku Shoot Style, who was free DLC on day 1, and probably still is. We've got Tokoyami, we've got Kaminari Denki, we've got Tsuyu-chan, we've got Todoroki, Yayorozu, I mean, Kirishima. All these characters look cool. I'll let you see what their costumes look like and everything. And then I'll tell you who I play, because I really only play primarily a few characters. I've messed around with just about every character, and I realized I didn't brush up with Uraraka before this recording, but we'll see. Because each character, even though they have the same like base moves, right? You press the same button to do a quirk mode. You do a certain button, or a quirk attack. You do a second button to do a second level quirk attack. And you do another button to hit a normal attack, etc. But honestly, each character plays incredibly differently and uses all of those things quite differently. So it takes a lot to get to know each character. Unlike something like Smash Bros, where a lot of the fundamentals are the same from character to character, this really mixes with it. So, alright, the first character I want to show you guys is Todoroki, because he is the first character I played as. You guys can see some funny character presets I have for him. There's like this one, where he's got all this random gear from all these different heroes. He's got like the dolls from Yayorozu, the gauntlets from Bakugo, etc. It's fun to mess around with the costumes. But this is my favorite costume. It's just, you know, black and red and all. And something else you're noticing now probably is after you pick a character, you get to pick sidekicks. So every character is playable, and they have their own unique moveset. But then every character can also be an assist for other characters. So my personal assists that I always use are Uraraka and Aizawa. Because this is training mode, we're just going to go with All Might, and we'll go to a relatively basic place. But you'll see that there are quite a few stages. Do they really matter that much? They're different sizes, so that matters. There's different types of debris. Some places have ring out, which means you can, well, get knocked out of the stage and lose as a result. More so than anything, though, the visuals are really cool. And they all have different meanings from places in the story that you know, use them for. So, for all intents and purposes, we're doing training mode, and the least distracting, I guess, stage is the one we're going to, this training area. There are a lot of tips that'll show up on screen, and they are pretty helpful. But yeah, I picked up this game day 1. I'm a huge My Hero Academia fan. I was super excited to play this, and I had it pre-ordered. I got a nice poster with it, and the first thing I did was just hop in training mode and try and lab out different characters' combos, and it was a ton of fun. The main characters that I play are Todoroki and Yayorozu, and then I also can play Deku Shoot Style, though I wouldn't say I feel like I figured out and I labbed a lot of Deku Shoot Style, but I don't think I enjoy playing Deku Shoot Style as much. I also have an Uraraka, just because Uraraka's adorable and her playstyle is somewhat amenable to my, you know, fighting game preferences. These intros are always cool. I love it. If you love the characters in this universe, you're gonna really like it. So you'll notice this is kind of like a 3D fighter, right? You get to run around your opponent, etc. You can dash to speed things up a bit. You can jump, you can double jump. Certain characters have higher jumps or different jumps. You can air dash, and then you can like kind of, you know, jump out of it. And you can guard. You can't really do anything from guard except for a guard break attack. So, if you're curious, they do give, you know, they basically give you breakdowns of all the different moves you can do, and honestly, it looks pretty difficult to get the grasp of, but the way I consider it is, on the Switch at least, there's one button for normal attacks. These are just like typical punches and that sort of stuff. And then there's one quirk attack. Then there's another quirk attack. And then, for a lot of characters, if you input a directional at the same time as one of those buttons, it'll do something else. So that's normal plus direction. That doesn't change based on directional. This does. That was my second quirk attack. You can also do all these things in the air. So that's jump normal. You'll notice that's different, right? That's my quirk 1 attack, but on the ground it's this. But in the air, it's that, which is very different. Similarly, on the ground, that's quirk 2, but in the air, this is quirk 2. They have similar functions, but again, they're different, and they have different properties too. So ice attacks will freeze All Might and give you a little bit of time to string a combo. Burn attacks will do a little bit of passive damage afterwards. Also, sometimes if you hold an attack, it'll change. So my quirk 1 attack is this. However, if I hold it, I can do something like this and ride along it. And if I, of course, hit All Might, it'll freeze him, which is pretty cool. Some other things. You can call your assists with the trigger buttons, and you can do specials, where if you're holding, you know, the block button, the guard button, and then hit one of your quirk buttons, you can do some really cool specials. So here is Todoroki's first special. So, really big attack, does quite a bit of damage. You can see the attack data on the left. And then the coolest one, in my opinion, is always quirk 2 super. So enjoy this. Also, can we just talk about how cool Todoroki is, just in general? He's easily one of my favorite characters, though I would say Deku and All Might are a bit above him. Todoroki became one of my more favorite characters because of how I like playing with him in this game. He was really cool in the anime itself, but... So, there's that. You can do a, like, level 3 quirk super, but it's really just a combination of you call both of your supports to do a little bit of extra damage, in addition to your level 1 quirk attack. So it'll do a lot of damage. It requires 3 bars. So if you look in the upper left corner, the yellow bar is your character's health. The blue bar is kind of like a super meter, where that builds up over time as you hit, as you get hit, and then you use those bars. Right now I have 3 of them to use those quirk supers. The green is my shield. So if I get hit while I'm shielding, there's a chance that that will go down. And if it goes all the way down, it'll break my shield and I'll be stunned. On the left, underneath Todoroki's icon, you'll see my assists. Those yellow bars mean they're full. But if I were to use them and not have them auto-refill, they would fill up over time. Alright, so that's an introduction to the basics. I guess one other thing is, if you hit an enemy into the air, you can follow them with an air dash. So if I were to do something like this, notice that blue burst. That's because I hit him, he went in the air, and then I was able to dash after him. That is incredibly helpful for stringing combos together. Again, if you continue attacks all the way to the end, so if I just mash Y right now, so that's like a string of 4 normal attacks in a row. Every character has some sort of base combo like that. But there's also some stuff called scaling, which means that the more combo, or the more attacks you've done, the less damage the future attacks will do like compared to if you had just hit them out of the blue with that. So the example what I like to give is this attack here. So quirk 1 does 80 damage, right? Now, what I'll do is I'll string some attacks into it, and you can take a look at how much damage it does. So, I've got 10 hits at this point. I've done 62 damage in total, but my total damage is 107.67, meaning my super at the end only did 45.59 as opposed to the 80. A lot of my labbing in the beginning was figuring out what the optimal combos were given this scaling. So, for example, basically, how do I want to use my resources effectively? And there's some cool things you can do. Here is my personal favorite and what I consider the most optimized, because it's both consistent and high damage, Todoroki combo. Let's see. Hopefully I can get this right now that I'm on camera. There we go. And so, I actually missed one hit in there because it should do 83 typically, but you'll also notice that All Might got thrown in the wall there. That is something that can happen if you hit someone with after a combo with a really strong hit into the wall. You can dash after them and continue your combo while you're in there. So that's pretty neat. You can also do that combo string from the air. So again, I can continue my combos in the air like this. And you can also battle on the sides of the stadium and everything. It's pretty neat. However, the attacks you're doing, if you look at my final string of numbers at the bottom of the attack data, they were so scaled down because, one, they were really far in my combo, and after, you know, an enemy's hit into a wall, the scaling reduces the damage for any hit after that by quite a bit. That said, it is still a combo extension. Some other things worth considering, it's really important to figure out what your character can combo, or how your character can combo into their super attacks. Most of the time, any normal attack will auto-combo into your super, because you can cancel any of your normal attacks with one of these supers. So, I would normally have to, like, carry out the rest of my move after hitting my third normal attack, but if I just hit, you know, R plus Quirk 2, or Shield plus R2, immediately after I do that third hit, I'll cancel right into it and it'll combo. And you'll notice, it did 149.77, which is a lot of damage. And so, one other thing I want to add, or one other cool Todoroki combo, I guess, is really taking advantage of your assists. So both Uraraka and Aizawa, in my opinion, are combo string assists, meaning they allow you to chain attacks together. So you'll see that Aizawa will bind your opponent like that, and Uraraka will make them float like that, so you can continue attacking the air. A lot of attacks are different in the air, and sometimes the damage they do in the air is different. So you saw my grounded Todoroki combo earlier did 80, whereas in the air it did 77. So that's actually to be expected for the most part. But regardless, the most powerful combo I can come up with for the time being, actually, for Todoroki, that uses a level 1 super, which is what you're going to be using more often than not, because you can get the longest string with it, actually involves his, involves Aizawa as an assist. So I'll do this, and then if I call Aizawa like that, I can actually continue the combo based on what you had seen earlier, and note that does 137, and I actually got a bit lucky here because All Might got, you know, stuck in the wall there. But yeah, so that's probably the best string I can think of for Todoroki, and I spent a lot of time experimenting. And you might think like, oh, you can definitely get more hits in there, but something worth noting is in any one of Todoroki's strings, he can only freeze an opponent twice. So if I were to do something like this, and then do this, I won't be able to attack him after, or I won't be able to like bind him afterwards, because he'll just blow away like that. And it didn't do as much, even though, you know, it technically had more hits in there. Similarly, if I were to do something like, I don't know, let's see. Oh, I guess I should have shown what that attack actually does. But, yeah, so what I was going to say is, with scaling, certain moves definitely change the scaling by quite a bit. For example, so that was after basically all of the hits. After all of the hits from my combo, you know, finally landed, it did 38 damage, and my total for that combo was 90.25. But if I were to do something like... So right after the first hit of that fire attack, if I do that, I do 98.46 total, which is way more than 90. And that's just due to the scaling nature, which is why you'll see a lot of times, sometimes shorter combos are actually more effective for doing damage. And obviously they're easier to pull off that way. So, I think that covers most of what I want to show with Todoroki. If you guys want like a specific character tutorial, I would be more than happy to show that, but Todoroki's my favorite character to play as, so I wanted to show, you know, some of his stuff. He's got like a little bit of a firewall, literally, and yeah, he's cool. He's very fast-paced, he's got some fun combo strings. He's not the best character, but the mix of, you know, being able to be fast on the ground, apply some ground pressure, plus some aerial projectiles as well, and some kind of like get off me options while you're in the air, because a lot of characters are very helpless while they're in the air, is really nice. And also, he's just really cool. So, with that being said, I will head back to the character select screen, and I'll show you a couple other characters combos that I really like to play as, and then we can move on to other modes. But yeah, you can see how when you really look into the manual timings and you have to figure out what each move does, when it makes most sense to cancel into your super moves if you have them, etc. When you want to do your air dash, because you can only do one per combo string, is really important. So the other character I like to use a lot is Yayorozu. And she's actually really interesting. So I mentioned before that a lot of times the characters have the same fundamentals, right? But at the same time, or they don't, they have the same basic button layout, but the fundamentals are actually incredibly different because what each of their quirks does is so incredibly different. And I think they did a great job with making each character's moveset and fighting style reflect how to actually utilize that quirk and their personality. So Yayorozu, in my opinion, is a really good example of that. For those of you that don't know, her quirk is called Creation, which means she can essentially create objects with her body or from her body, so long as she knows how they're composed, like from a chemical sense, because she's incredibly smart and she basically understands what like the structure is of multiple objects, and then once she studies it, understands it, she can create it herself using her body's fats, actually. Alright, so Yayorozu, you start off with this pole here, right? And you can do some cool attacks, like a normal string of attacks. Pull out this like ball and chain, you do some damage, but what's really cool is with Yayorozu's quirk 1 attack, she does a couple things. The first of which is she can change that pole to something like this sword. And that sword is going to do more damage. So this did 45 as opposed to the 34 before, which is obviously worth noting. It also, sorry about the lag, that's on the game itself, and that does happen from time to time. You'll notice when I hit, there's a little bit more hit stun too, which I guess is worth noting. However, it doesn't stop at a sword. You can, oh, that's not what I wanted to do, but once you have a weapon that is not the pole, you can hit your quirk 1 button to do a specific, you know, whatever that weapon is attack, and if you hold it, you'll throw it, and you'll go back to the regular pole. Now, what I was going to say is the final level, per se, of, like, weapon you can create is this, like, trident-esque, I don't even know what is this weapon called? It's like a halberd of some sort? I don't know. But again, we'll do our normal string, and you'll see the difference in the damage. So this is 51.44. So just as soon as you can, you're going to want to try and get this weapon, because honestly, more often than not, it's pretty much strictly better than the other ones. But sometimes you may not have the opportunity to do so. Alright. So that's her quirk 1 attack. Her quirk 2 is this charge attack. And you might be wondering, wait, why? Why is that relevant to her quirk? Well, if you hold it down, you get a shield. And I actually don't know what the shield does. I'd imagine it maybe helps with some sort of defense, but it doesn't increase the damage from that charge attack. And that's all I could really think of, so yeah. If you do a directional plus her quirk 2, you throw these little flash bombs that don't actually do any damage, but they stun your opponent, which is helpful. And if you hold it down after doing that, so if you hit direction plus quirk 2 and hold it down, you'll create a laser that, as you can see, does quite a bit of damage and really sends them far. However, if you commit to making the laser and you miss with the little like stun bombs at the beginning, you're definitely open to getting hit quite a bit. So I guess that is worth noting. Other stuff, I think all of her attacks, for the most part, are the same while you're in the air. So the only thing that's really different, I guess, is her super armor move. Some of these attacks, so the ones where they light up all yellow, have super armor, meaning they can't be interrupted. So even if you hit me during that attack, I'm not going to budge. I'm still going to continue my attack and hit you. And that is really important to know, because I could anticipate an attack, and then all of a sudden I go like this, and then I end up turning the tables and hit you and can go into my combo. In the air, it's a little bit different. It's this attack, where you kind of like do a helicopter-like action, I guess, and it's pretty neat. Now, as far as her specials go, the first one, honestly, her level 1 quirk special is really I don't know, underwhelming. It's these cannons, and it fires all of these, like, all these stun bombs, right? And you'll see he's stunned now, and it did 40 damage. But that's always going to be the case. No matter what, pretty much. He's going to be stunned before he can get hit by everything, which means it's never going to do more than 40 damage, which is really, really weak damage. The other thing is, just because of the nature of the attack, if you want to combo into it, you're so close that you don't even really benefit from it. You'd almost much rather want to do some sort of full combo string, especially because after an enemy is stunned, the scaling reduces the damage output quite a bit. So yeah, it's not really that impressive of a quirk special in my opinion. However, her level 2 quirk is really cool. It's really cool. Takes really good advantage of her, you know, creation quirk. Create this hammer, creates springs to fly up there, creates the 2 poles. Or swords, rather. And then, of course, if you've seen the anime, the Matoryoshika dolls that are bombs. Gotta love it. And then adorable relief after having performed effectively. And I think it'll actually do more damage if we have this. So, for the time being, I'll show you this. And then I'll get into a couple, just a couple combos, really. Yaoyorozu only has a couple combos, in my opinion, that are worth going for. And honestly, they're some of the most powerful. Deku Shoot style is probably the strongest character, in my opinion. Just overall best character, and has the strongest, you know, base combos that you can get as your regular bread and butter strings of attacks. But, okay, that didn't actually do more damage. But regardless, so here are the combos I had in mind. So from the ground, what you can do is do 2 normals into an air dash, into 2 more normals into a super armor move, or directional plus normal. And that will look like this. And so if you mash while doing that, you're going to get an 85 damage string, which is the second highest I've been able to create off of a relatively basic string. And then in the air, you can do some cooler stuff. So, as you can see, despite being 44 hits and looking a lot more complex, it did 1 damage less than the grounded attack. But again, it looks really cool, and it's kind of frustrating for the opponent, so it's fun to do in that regard too, maybe. I haven't been able to find a really good use for Aizawa and Uraraka to extend combo strings with her. As far as comboing into her specials, usually just off of a first hit makes sense. You could do something like that, and you'll still get quite a bit of damage. But yeah, I think that really just about covers Yaoyorozu. I'll show you guys one costume I have for her because she has some really neat outfits. And almost all the accessories you can equip are other characters, like outfits or pieces of their costume, etc. So I think there's some that surprisingly work well with Yaoyorozu. But yeah, that's Yaoyorozu. She's a really fun character to play as, in my opinion. She's also a really unique character to play as. I mean, honestly, a lot of the characters in this game are really unique, and certain characters have more of the super armor type attacks, certain ones even have command grabs, certain ones have regular grabs. There are a lot of different styles of characters in addition to variety and quirks, and honestly, despite there not being a huge cast of characters, which is growing thanks to DLC, you have a lot of variety to play around with. So take a look at this. I love this outfit. So first of all, this reminds me a lot of Nightwing, and for those of you that are Batman fans or DC fans, Nightwing was one of my favorite superheroes. Secondly, green, yellow, black, some of my favorite color schemes and combinations, and the mask, I think, though it's actually Gran Torino's mask, fits really well with Yaoyorozu, and then surprisingly, the Deku bunny ears fit really well with this particular colored outfit, so yeah, it's pretty neat. Another outfit I like, I think I got it with Uraraka, yeah, is this outfit too, which in my opinion is really cool. I also think I picked up a really neat Tsuyu-chan one. Oh, I didn't, but there's one that's similar to this color scheme from Uraraka. So the last character I want to show is Deku's shoot style, and then I'll go to the other, modes, I promise. This is my favorite part of the game. Messing around in training mode, playing against my brother, going for cool combos, etc. Not necessarily the story mode and stuff, though that is pretty neat. I did get into the story mode a bit, and I wanted to spend more time doing that, but again, my fighting game of choice right at the moment is Super Smash Bros., so I haven't played this in quite a while. And again, these loading screens. One other thing you'll notice is, or actually you probably haven't noticed, is you earn coins from finishing battles and doing stuff in story mode. You have to purchase every unlockable in this game, for the most part. You can win some of them via missions and stuff, but there's some you have to spend like 10,000 coins, which takes a really long time. That's one of my least favorite aspects of this game. So much of the content is locked behind these coin walls, and it takes a lot to get those coins, so... Alright, so for those of you that don't know, this is Deku Shoot style. If you have not seen the beginning of Season 3, or it's the end of Season 2, I'm not 100% sure which one, this may be a spoiler, but you've been warned. Deku switches to more of a kicking style. You can tell by his costume as well. As far as what Deku does, he has really cool looking combos. That's his normal string, his quirk attacks are other types of just more powerful kicks. As you can see, that was quirk 2. He has some really cool directional attacks though. So the first one is this attack, which is what can be used to combo into his quirk specials. He has not that one. That one does not have a directional plus, but this one does. Pretty neat attack, right? And honestly, that covers most of Deku's attacks. The aerial attacks are not all that different. His directional normal in the air is kind of like a Tatsu attack for those of you that have played like Street Fighter and stuff. But here is his bread and butter combo. So only 8 hits. Honestly, not that difficult to combo, but 87.58. Todoroki's combos, Yairo's combos were a lot more technical, and they did less damage. For those of you that do play the game and are curious, it's normal, normal, dash, normal, normal, quirk 2. Oops. Quirk 2 plus directional. The game was going faster than my voice could, but then it's directional plus quirk 2, and then quirk 1, quirk 1. But, yeah, what else is there to show? You might think, oh, you can definitely make a longer combo with that'll do more damage, but for example, if I were to do something like this... Oh wait, I hit the wrong button. But you'll be surprised that even though this attack is cooler, it looks like it does more damage. It actually doesn't. It does significantly less, even though it's more hits, and the initial hit does more. Because of the scaling, it doesn't make sense to do so. So other things, Deku has a really good guard break attack. This is not a guard break attack, but this is his super one. It's pretty neat. It also does 100. A lot of base super 1 attacks only do 80. His does 100. But a guard break attack is an attack that will break an enemy's guard if they're blocking. Doesn't do a lot, and any attack that comes afterwards, if it does combo into something, is pretty severely scaled down. But he's got a pretty good one. His second super is the following. It's really cool. Yeah, it's really cool. It's also really strong, doing a base 130. And you can combo into it with one of your sort of super armor attacks. So either one of these, where it's like... Basically, if you do normal into super armor attack, or just super armor attack out of the blue, you can combo into either of your quirk supers. Something worth noting is they can be blocked. They do require an initial hit, and then they'll trigger the rest of the super attack, but they can be blocked. And honestly, I think that covers just about everything I wanted to talk about with Deku's shoot style. His ability to juggle enemies, his ability to just overwhelm with pressure. Because he has a really good guard break attack, he's got really good dashing, he's really got really strong air combos. Because, well, they're the same as the ground one, just very slightly a little bit weaker. He's really good. He's like really good. And a lot of this game also comes down to blocking combo strings and then picking the right time to attack back. And Deku, with all of his strings, is able to push enemies pretty far away. So, yeah, I would say if there were a best character, it's probably Deku shoot style. But, anyways, I've been in training mode almost the entire time. So we'll go back to the main menu and I'll show you some of the other aspects of the game. Rather than show you Uraraka, because Uraraka is adorable and has pretty neat combos too, but again, I've spent so much time in training mode. So, we can go to story mode, and I'll show you a little bit of the beginning of it. Probably like one mission or so. There's a tutorial for each mode that you can reactivate, so we can play that for the moment. It's pretty cool. There are a whole bunch of different like scenes you can go through. You get rankings, and each of them has, you know, certain criteria. So, for example, this one here is more of like a battle. This one is more of like a cutscene of some sort. And yeah. For the sake of not just showing a movie of sorts, I'll show you this one. Or I'll show you the tutorial first. I love it. So funny, gotta love. Alright, so in this case, we only have Deku to work with. If we start the chapter, we'll be able to clear it. I mean, this one is meant to be essentially a tutorial of sorts, but you'll also get to see Gran Torino's room. You'll get to see a battle against Gran Torino, and yeah. If you guys are curious about more of this game, I really enjoy playing this game. I really enjoy, you know, labbing up all the combos. If you guys want to see different character tutorials where, I don't know, like Todoroki at the beginning, I show you all the different combos. I give some advice for certain character matchups, what the purpose of each move really is, what function it serves as. But alright, so we got My Hero Comics, or Hero Comics. What we can do is actually turn on something like Auto, and it'll get these like visual novel-esque segments. All voiced. Get these little art bits. Mini cutscene. Gran Torino showing his moves, impressing young Deku. Also, something really cool about this game is the soundtrack. Gran Torino, I'm trying to talk here. Okay, we gotta do this. So there's like an example of a command grab. Quirk Special 1 is that. You can also see that the environment breaks quite a bit. It's pretty dynamic, honestly, which is really cool. Let's see, Quirk Special 3 is going to be this. Pretty impressive. So get over here, Gran Torino. There we go. And then we can charge this. It'll do a little bit more damage. Oh, if I hold X afterwards, I'll be able to charge it. So the next one is a lot more powerful. Similarly, I can charge this, and we'll catch up to him. Oh man, I didn't get to do it because he hit me with that super armor attack. We can guard, and then dashing midair, and double jump. So basically the story mode comes down to, oh, I guess we're battling. Let's see how normal Deku works. I don't really know any solid strings at least at the moment. But yeah, so the story mode consists of a lot of these visual novel-esque segments with little cutscenes, little story progressions, etc. The voice acting stopped with these little events where you play out a lot of the battles or, you know, any action that really happens in the story. And then, of course, you're graded and rewarded according to how you do. Gran Torino is such a mysterious figure. To be continued. So yeah, that's the first story mode mission, or first story mode event. And story mode continues to progress as such. As you complete them, you'll unlock more. You get to play as different characters. Sometimes you'll get to choose between multiple characters to battle against, or to battle with. And there's some interesting side ones. It's pretty neat. So I think for the time being, we'll hold off on story mode because I don't want to replay a lot of the same missions. Also, some people might not be interested in reliving some of the story. It's more fun to play, probably, than anything else. So with mission mode, I'll show you guys the tutorial again, but I actually don't have a lot of experience with this mode, so I probably won't delve into it, at least today. If this series gets a lot of support and you guys are really curious to see what all of story mode looks like, or what all of mission mode looks like, or want to see me play more of this game, I could try make it work. Recording on the Switch right now is relatively difficult for me, just given my living situation, but if there's enough support, I can do my best. President Mike, so great. I don't really want to interrupt the the voice acting, so be sure to read what you can, I guess. But yeah, they're basically a bunch of missions that are set up for you. So, almost done. Y'all good, President Mike? Alright, so you can see there are a bunch of different maps, and basically there are missions along the way. The idea is for each map you're going to want to progress through, you have to use the same amount of health. There are certain characters you can use. You can level them up with experience, and if you S-rank them or do particularly well, you'll get an overall higher score, and there's a chance you unlock a lot of collectibles. So that's how mission mode works. I guess I could try this. Oh wait, I'm gonna switch to manual. I'll use my typical friends. I'll give it a go. I don't know how long this is gonna last, but we'll see. So, let's see here. Mission number 1. Completion and defeat your opponent versus Midoriya Izuku. Oh, those are sidekicks? You know, it's alright for now, but I didn't realize that those were sidekicks I was picking, and instead I thought I was picking from characters to choose from. Yet again, the loading screen! Again, there's so much time spent on this screen during this game. This game is actually really cheap now. I think it's really worth it if you're a My Hero Academia fan, if you love the characters, and even if you have someone to play with, great. If not, it's really fun to lab around with, play in the story mode, etc. And I think it's on sale for usually like 40 bucks now. You can probably find it online used for probably 30 or something like that. Worth it in my opinion. Alright, let's go Todoroki. Is this Deku shoot style? It is. Oh, darn it. He hit me with that super armor. Let's see. Nice. So we got quite a bit of damage there. Let's see here. Where you going, bud? Where you going? Alright. Set up some fire for him to wake up to. He's a bit cornered now. You gonna attack me or what? So I built up quite a bit of meter now. If I get a combo going, or if I get a good hit in, I should be able to finish this. This is my power! Oh, this might not be enough to finish him off. I hope it is. Darn it, it's not. Ah, I could have gotten a, what is it called, like a quirk finish. Next time. So, when there's a best of 3, you usually just stand right back up and are in the same, like, arena, I guess. Although, they didn't quite do that this time around. My bonus was only a B. Aw. Overall S, though, I guess we'll take that. And so, you'll see the coins. We got 300 for that, and that was really good. The thing is, it requires thousands of coins to unlock, you know, even one accessory or one alternate costume. So, and that's just like the costume color. Also, I realize this video is pretty long. There's just a lot to show in this game. So, I hope you guys that are interested are enjoying it. Like I said, you know, there are all these different modes, some of which I've spent more time in than others, and I definitely won't be able to show something like the arcade mode this time around. But hopefully, at the very least, the mission mode was interesting. Seeing the story mode was cool, and I got to show off a lot of the... so we unlocked some items. Cool. And hopefully I was able to show off some of the characters. You got to see what some of the cool attacks are, what some of the combo strings are like, some of the cool special moves. Special quirk moves, that is, but obviously there are a lot more characters to play as, and they all have their own unique playstyles, their own unique quirks, their own really cool looking quirk special moves. So I think we'll call it there. And if there is a next episode, in the next episode, we may do more missions, we may play more story mode, we may meet my brother and play some local matches, I may show off some other characters and their combo strings. Who knows? Let me know if you guys enjoyed this, though. And again, thank you so much to the patrons for your continued support and for picking this game that I really enjoy, and I hope that the video was worth it. But anyways, till the next episode, this is Moon Knight Zero, and this mission is complete.